In the early morning hours, a small mining town sits quietly, unaware of the carnage that is about to ensue. In the center of town, what appears to be a common well is actually a source of great mystical power. For only a few moments, this very morning, the well will emit energies a trained master can capture to perform magics, nearly beyond the realm of possibility.
Given that this town belongs to the Miners and Steamfitters Union, the Arcanist Master Ramos had hoped to claim this power without challenge. But the never-born Master Pandora has other ideas.
Alongside her companion Candy, Pandora strolls casually into town, ushering in a veritable plague of hungry gups. The gups croaking alerts the town's residents, who respond quickly to investigate the disturbance. Pandora smiles as she sees this seemingly defenseless town is home to Ramos and the inner sanctum of the Miners and Steamfitters Union. This is going to be more interesting than I thought.
Can we go home now?
With Pandora and Ramos both determined to claim the source of power, madness and mechanical violence seem inevitable. I'm Princess Devon for Bogo Batreps, and this is Malifaux. Pandora, you seem to have crafted a sinister plan. What can you tell us?
The energy that is about to erupt from this town's well will enable me to perform a power-enhancing ritual, granting me the power I need to...
Pandora, this is boring. Let's do something else.
Silence, Candy. As I was saying, upon completion of my power ritual, I will have enhanced my power beyond comprehension, so I can continue to...
Pandora!
Oh, fine, Candy. I'm afraid we really must attend to business.
Just one more thing. What forces have you brought with you to help claim the power and perform the ritual?
Aside from Candy, who is on her best behavior and carries the Mimic's blessing, I have amassed an army of gups, broken into 8 separate groups. Under my control, these simple creatures can accomplish remarkable tasks. Just wait and see. I also have 7 soul stones and have brushed up on my powers of depression, voices, and wings of darkness. Oh, and I almost forgot. I have formed a pact with the immortal swamp fiend known as Bad Judas.
Pandora!
All right already!
Thank you, Pandora. Now let's go speak to Ramos. Master Ramos, are you planning to perform a power ritual as well?
Indeed, this is a rare opportunity, and I do not intend to allow any never-born riffraff to interfere.
What assets do you have here in town?
Because this is an M&SU town, I have many of my most faithful Union members. I have Joss with his bleeding-edge technology, Howard Langston, 2 rail workers, and 2 metal gaimen. Personally, I, Victor Ramos, have 5 soul stones and have been dabbling in the arts of electrical summoning and field generation.
That's quite impressive. I won't keep you any longer. Now on to the battle.
Determined to protect the town and claim the secrets of the well for himself, Ramos orders his electrical creation forward. And the short-lived creature immediately begins to burn itself out. Clear about their role in Pandora's ritual, a group of gups scratch mystical symbols in the dirt near an outhouse. The gups then move behind a house. A rail worker then does the same for Ramos. A group of gups then leaps and rushes forward. A metal gaiman trudges across the challenging tracks and grants Ramos protection of metal. A group of gups fails a leap, then rushes behind another outhouse. A rail worker works his way across the tracks. More gups move toward the outhouse and fail a leap. Atop his mechanical spider legs, Howard Langston nimbly rounds the schoolhouse and moves through the trees. In response, a group of gups leaps onto the gallows, then scrambles across a wall towards the mystical well. A metal gamin grants protection of metal to Joss, then hoists itself over a fence. Candy moves into a corner of the wall. In need of raw materials, Joss blasts the electrical creation and destroys it, littering the area near the well with scrap. Joss then hops the fence and moves forward, staying within range of his metal gamin protector. Pandora flies onto the gallows and delights in despair. Pandora then plants disturbing voices in Joss's head, paralyzing the mighty henchman. Finally, she flies behind a wall near the well. Exploiting the debris near the wall, Ramos creates 2 mechanical arachnids. He then moves closer and conjures another electrical creation. Ramos then takes cover behind the fence. Not knowing any better, a group of gups scrambles fearlessly toward Howard Langston. An arachnid regenerates to full strength due to its proximity to Joss. It then scurries over the wall to engage Pandora. The other arachnid also regenerates and moves to engage the nearby gups. The electrical creation then moves to the gups and shocks them for a small amount of damage. Both masters burn soul stones to improve their chances of cheating fate. Pandora then seizes the initiative. Ignoring the obvious danger, ravenous gups charge Howard Langston and miss with both attacks. The electrical creation detonates, slaying the nearby gups and unburies Bad Juju. Bad Juju then charges Ramos, but fails to strike him and is pushed back by Ramos's repulsion field. An arachnid claws Pandora for minimal damage. It then misses an attack and Pandora floats away. Gups scurry forward and scratch diabolic markings into the dirt, activating Pandora's power ritual. A rail worker then runs toward the same corner of town. Candy then bats her eyelashes, becoming incredibly cute should someone consider attacking her. A rail worker overcomes his fear and charges in to perform an implacable assault. The worker smashes Bad Juju once for moderate damage, then misses his second attack. Gups then leap onto the boxcar. Ramos fails to summon more arachnids, then fails to conjure an electrical creation. Taking matters into his own hands, Ramos shoots Bad Juju twice, banishing the mighty swamp fiend. Gups then scurry toward the flat car. Howard Langston slays the nearby gups, causing Bad Juju to rematerialize. Too far away to strike, Howard quickly scratches mystic symbols in the dirt, then moves directly over them. Pandora incites an arachnid, causing it to have a mood swing and allowing Pandora to float closer. Pandora then plants troubling voices inside Ramos's mind, paralyzing the old man with doubt. She then does the same to the nearest rail worker. She then fails an attack against an arachnid, whose iron willpower surprises her. The arachnid then charges Pandora, missing her once, then striking for minimal damage. Gups then leap and hop along the edge of town. A metal gamin shifts its position to continue protecting Joss and Ramos, as the other metal gamin moves back to defend a corner of town. As the well begins pulsing, both crews are close enough to reap its power. Pandora burns another soulstone to improve her chances of cheating fate, as does Ramos. Desperate to escape the troublesome arachnids so she can protect herself from Joss, Pandora paralyzes one of the metal constructs, then fails to paralyze the other. She then incites the paralyzed construct, allowing her to float back slightly. She then attempts to befuddle Joss with voices, but this time he resists. The active arachnid charges Pandora, striking her and causing her to burn a soulstone to prevent some of the damage. The arachnid then explodes, causing Pandora to burn another soulstone and still suffer damage. Smarting from her wounds, Pandora snarls at the lackluster effect of her soulstones. Gups climb onto the flat car and scratch mystical symbols in its surface. Realizing he cannot eliminate so many symbols by himself, the rail worker retreats toward Ramos's own mystic symbols. More Gups then leap onto the boxcar. An arachnid recovers from paralysis. Candy then dedicates all of her effort towards healing Pandora, but only heals a tiny amount. Determined to guard the symbols and keep Ramos's ritual active, Howard Langston takes a defensive stance, as more Gups swarm the opposite corner of town. Free of the troubling voices, Joss hops the wall and engages Pandora, sacrificing the defense of metal by moving too far from the metal gamin. Bad Juju scratches his own symbols, then lumbers away. Shaking off the voices, Ramos recovers from paralysis. Gups leap and hop to the MNSU building. A gamin moves closer to Joss and renews his protection of metal. Another gamin then gives itself protection of metal and moves to engage the nearby Gups. With both crews still near the well, both masters continue to reap its benefits. Once again, both masters burn soulstones to improve their chances of cheating fate. Acting with amazing speed, Pandora incites the nearby metal gamin, allowing her to float out of Joss's strike range. She then attempts to have Joss harm himself, but is unable to overcome his willpower. Undeterred, Pandora implants disturbing voices in Joss's mind, again paralyzing him with doubt. Pandora then does the same to an arachnid, barely succeeding against the construct's iron will. A metal gamin strikes a group of Gups for minor damage, setting them ablaze. The gamin then misses with its second strike. Another group of Gups scrambles around the flat car. Subject to a mood swing, a metal gamin feels compelled to act and rushes to engage Pandora and Candy. Gups hop off the flat car. A rail worker moves to guard Ramos's ritual markings. The Gups on the boxcar leap and scurry to harass Ramos and the rail worker. And the rail worker makes short work of them, before moving closer to the well. Bad Juju then lumbers out of the woods, surrendering them to Howard Langston. Unwilling to allow the swamp fiend to escape, however, Howard Langston nimbly charges through the woods, striking Bad Juju twice and decapitating him. The blazing Gups leap away from the gamin and charge the rail worker, but they are unable to strike him. Ramos moves to the well, then shoots electrical fire at Pandora, causing minor damage. He then attempts to summon an electrical creation, but fails. Candy breaks away from the metal gamin, hops the wall, and rushes to engage a rail worker. She then fills the worker's mind with self-loathing, causing him to beat himself almost to death with his own hammer. Joss and the arachnid then shake off their paralysis, and the blazing Gups burn to death, once more recalling Bad Juju. Both masters continue to reap the benefit of the well, but Pandora's expression of concern for Candy betrays an extra level of care for the well-being of her petulant companion. Exploiting his resource advantage, Ramos burns a soulstone to improve his chances of cheating fate. Ramos then burns his last soulstone to impart a sense of urgency upon his crew. Nonetheless, Pandora again seizes the initiative and incites the metal gamin, allowing her to float up onto the gallows. She then flies behind the gallows and attempts to cause Joss self-harm, but fails. She then paralyzes Ramos with voices. Recognizing her significance to Pandora, Howard Langston nimbly charges Candy, missing her once, then striking her for significant damage and nearly decapitating the tiny Neverborn. Candy then bats her eyelashes in a desperate attempt to avoid being killed. Nonetheless, after regenerating, the rail worker performs an implacable assault and pummels Candy into the ground.
No!
Unable to leap, Gups scurry around the boxcar to get closer to the well. A metal gamin moves toward the center of town and scratches more ritualistic symbols as a precaution against bad juju. Angry at having been rendered useless, Bad Juju swings at the royal worker, but misses him twice. Joss climbs onto the gallows, then moves to engage Pandora, hoping to accomplish Ramos's goal of assassinating her. But Pandora smiles wickedly, sensing it's already too late. Determined to reap the last few moments of power, Gups leap onto the rail car, then scurry towards the well. The metal gamin and the arachnid rush toward Pandora, hoping for just a few more seconds to finish their dark task. But those seconds are not to come. Reaping the final moments of power from the well, both masters complete their power rituals, and Pandora escapes with her life to claim the narrowest of victories.
In the end, completing her power ritual and thwarting Ramos's attempts at assassination, Pandora and the Neverborn emerge victorious. I'm sure her only regret is having lost Candy so close to the end. Still, for Neverborn, death is seldom more than an inconvenience. I have a feeling we'll see Candy again. For Bogo Batreps, I'm Princess Devon. Thank you for watching.